Hi, Brooklyn. I wanted to show you a couple solutions to those problems, but I wanted to, um, verbally walk you through ways to do the problems. Now, I know these may not be the exact problems that you have because in WebAssign, since you didn't send me pictures of your exact problems, WebAssign randomizes the numbers sometimes. So that's why the problems might not match. The things would just be different, would be these coefficients. So here's question 5 from 2-3, where I have a polynomial divided by another polynomial. Notice that this polynomial is out of order, and also notice that there's no x squared term. So I made a note, need to rewrite the polynomial with parameters in decreasing order. So that's what I did here. So we're taking this polynomial, x to the fourth plus 2x cubed plus 0x squared minus 14x minus 14 divided by this polynomial. So I have to take the highest term in the polynomial that we're dividing the bigger one by, and I have to say to myself, what do I multiply it by to match this one? So x squared times x squared would give me x to the fourth. And then I need to take this and multiply these other two. So I would take this times this gives me minus x cubed. This times this would give me minus 4x squared. And just like you do in long division, then you subtract. So these two dropped out. This becomes 2x cubed minus a negative is a plus 3x cubed. Then this would be 0 minus a negative is a plus 4x cubed. So I have these two terms. I bring down another one. Then I start the process again. I say to myself, what do I have to multiply? I'm dividing this into this. So what do I need to multiply this term by to get a 3x cubed? I'd multiply it by 3x. So I take 3x times x squared would give me 3x cubed. 3x minus x gives me minus 3x squared. And then 3x times minus 4 gives me minus 12x. And again, we subtract. This drops out. 4 minus a negative 3 is a plus 7x squared. Negative 14 minus a negative makes that a plus 12x, gives me minus 2x. Bring down the last term. I'm dividing this into this. What do I have to multiply this by to match this? That would be 7. So I take 7 and multiply each term in the divisor. 7 times x squared gives me 7x squared. 7 times minus x gives me minus 7x. 7 times minus 4 gives me minus 28. Subtract. This drops out. Negative 2 minus a negative 7 is a plus 7, gives me a positive 5x. Minus 14 minus a negative gives me a plus 28, gives me a plus 14. This will not divide into this polynomial because the power is lower. There are no other terms to bring down. So my final answer would be this, the quotient, plus the remainder divided by the divisor. This problem did ask you to do it the long division way. Now over here, this one's actually a lot of work, and there's actually tons of answers for this one. All right, it says find a polynomial function with real coefficients that has the given 0. So you were given your 0, so that means that you had the term x plus 5 squared, and then you were given one of these, and remember these come in conjugate pairs, so that really means that you have two zeros, x minus the 0 they gave you, and then x minus the conjugate of this, which would be a minus square root of 2i. Now this is a lot of work. Notice I'm not even multiplying this out for a while. I'm just going to leave this hanging here. So what I do is I take x and I multiply by each term here. So x times x gives me x squared. X times minus 1 gives me minus x. X times the square root of 2i gives me the square root of 2ix. Now, I know this looks weird here, but all I'm doing is I'm taking this times all three, putting the answer here. Then I'm going to add to it this times all three. I'm going to put those answers here. And notice I'm putting things in column alignment. Then I'll take the third one, multiply each term, and put the answers here. And again, I'm going to try to line things up, and then I will add them all together to see what's left. So the second is -1 times all three terms. So -1 times x gives me -x. -1 times -1 gives me a +1. -1 times this gives me minus square root of 2i. Now I'm going to take this and multiply it by each term. This times this gives me a minus square root of 2ix. This times this gives me a positive square root of 2i. This times this. Now there's a lot going on here. So a square root times a square root gives me the number 2. Notice it's a minus, and then I times I is I squared. Now pretend like I'm drawing a line under here and I'm adding up the columns. So I've got x squared. This plus this gives me minus 2x. This drops out. I've got a 1 here. These drop out, and then I have -2 times I squared. But remember, I squared is -1. So this is -2 times -1. -2 times -1 is +2. So after all that, I can simplify this further and make this 3. And then I can FOIL this out, and I get x squared plus 10x plus 25. Now I got to do the same thing again. I'm going to take this term and multiply all three. So it gives me x squared minus 2x cubed plus 3x squared. Then I'm going to take this one and multiply all three. So I get 10x cubed minus 20x squared plus 30x. Then I'm going to take this one, 25x squared. 25 minus 2x is minus 50x. 25 times 3 is 75. And again, notice I'm putting the answers in the column with the like term, and then I'm going to draw the line and add them up. So I get x to the 4th, x cubed. This is x squared minus 20x plus 75. And again, like I was telling you, these might not be your exact zeros that you have, but this is the process that you would follow. So I hope that helps. If it doesn't, I'm going to need you to send me your exact problems and the work so I can take a look at your exact answers and sort through. But without a picture of the problem and without a picture of your work, this is the best that I can do. Okay, I will send you the link. Thanks.